This is Martin Sixsmith, used to be the BBC's man in Moscow.
And Washington.
You're depressed.
Well, I got the sack. I'm unemployed.
Yes, but it wasn't your fault, was it?
That's why I'm depressed.
What are you working on at the moment?
I know this woman. She had a baby when she was a teenager. She's kept it secret for 50 years.
You're talking about the human interest story. I don't do those.
Why not?
You think I should do a human interest story?
Try hard, Leon. I try hard not to be racist against nuns.
Wait, they racist? Wait, are nuns a race?
Can I use that? Are they a race? Can I use that?
Yeah, nuns are a race.
Yeah.
They're black.
But they're white, too.
But they're white, too.
I
try not to dislike nuns, man.
Why don't you just taper off? Like, hate penguins for a while.
Penguins are better than nuns, man. Penguins at least treat their children right.
Yeah.
Nuns are, I tell you, I've seen too many movies. And I feel bad because I don't know any nuns and don't want to know them.
You haven't seen the nun movies I've been watching.
Yeah, man. I don't
Dirty kind.
That's kind of... Jesus.
Okay, you know what? Those nuns are, right? Hurt me that way.
Yeah. Change your whole perspective.
I don't know. Maybe I'm coming out of left field with this, but I don't think it's right to judge a whole group of people based on a few movies that you saw.
And stop making movies that make me think that way. I can't stand it, man.
Yeah,
it's making me so angry.
It is funny where you're like, you keep thinking about, wow, all those movies we saw in the past, usually comedies based on, that basically would mention nuns, like boarding schools.
Yeah.
With like, Catholic schoolgirls in heat or trouble, but the nuns are always evil, vicious, like beating the shit out of everybody.
And you're like, oh, what cartoons?
Yeah, I know. You're like thinking, man, was it really like that? And then when you watch this movie, you're like, oh, fuck, it was.
Yeah, it's even worse.
It's way worse.
It's worse. Yeah, it's way worse. When you see a movie about nuns that mistreat people, not just people, children.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, movies like this movie that we see right here, Philomena.
Mm-hmm.
What was that other movie that we saw?
I didn't see it. You saw it.
What was it?
Geez, I can't remember. Was Emily Watson in that one?
Yeah, it was some movie where these nuns were being abusive to these girls. A movie like that. Somebody will tell me what it is. Other movies like Sister Act and Sister Act 2. I can't take it.
You're not thinking about Quills, are you?
No,
not
Quills.
No. It was the Magdalene sisters or something.
Oh, yeah.
Man, they did. Yeah, there's a whole category of film for nuns just being shitty.
Mm-hmm.
Now that flying nun, she was all right.
Yeah, come on, man. Sally Field, she was the cutest.
Yeah, but
she's a great baby.
But if a nun ain't flying, I ain't trying to hear it, man. And you're probably saying, well, Corey, what's this movie about? This movie, Philomena, that's got you so upset. Leave nuns alone. What's this? All I see is...
Yeah, I seen a poster with Steve Coogan and Judi Dench looking like a funny old lady.
That's what you think going into it. Because I saw the trailer. I thought...
That sounds wacky adventures. They're probably going on a road trip or something.
See, Steve Coogan, when he's over in Britain, he's serious, man. He's doing, he's serious, Steve Coogan. When he's coming over here, he's doing Night at the Museum and some other stupid shit.
He's doing he's goofy as shit.
He's doing the goofy shit.
He's trying to wrake his career over here.
He's just trying to get a check.
Yeah.
He's like, I got a Coke dealer to pay. What do you want me to do? You want to put on his hat?
A free trip to the States.
So you see Steve Coogan and you're thinking, oh, it's adorable, funny old Steve Coogan. Then you see Judi Dench, and we see Judi Dench being serious. But in this trailer, she's romping around America, and she doesn't know that much about us except that Mexicans kidnap people and black men like to dress up in fat suits and make movies like Big Mama House. You're thinking, oh, this is adorable. No, I thought that too. I went in and thought, oh, I can't wait to see this fun romp in America. You find out that this is actually, I knew nothing about it. I'm going to have to look at some notes right here to tell you exactly what's going on here. Mm-hmm. This is actually based on an investigative book by a guy named Martin Sixsmith. And the title of the book is The Lost Child of Philomena Lee. And that lost child is actually a child that was taken away from Philomena Lee, played by Judi Dench here. And Martin is played by Steve Coogan. Mm-hmm. And it turns out that she's an orphan girl who's being raised Irish Catholic. She's pretty much being raised in a school. Mm-hmm. And because it's frowned upon for girls to get pregnant as teenagers, they take her child away and have her sign a waiver saying that she can not investigate or follow or try to seek this child out later.
Yeah, it's forced adoption.
It's a forced adoption, and the child is gone. The child, he is adopted by American parents, and she never sees this child again until later in life when she's in her 70s now.
Yeah,
in
80s actually.
Really? Judi Dench don't look bad for 80.
Okay.
At first, I thought she was 60. I was like,
If that was her real age, I don't know how old she is in real life.
all of a sudden, she's hot.
Yeah. She looks awesome for playing a 90-year-old old lady.
80 is the new 60. But
Movies lied to me.
And so Steve Coogan plays this guy who got fired from his government job. He's looking for something to do, and he's an asshole. I'm just gonna tell you right now,
he's a full-out asshole,
complete fucking asshole. But he's a desperate.
He's
asshole.
more of a prick.
Okay, I guess
he's both.
He's kind of a smug prick.
He's both.
Like an asshole is like actively trying to go out and fuck people up, and he's not really.
Well,
doing
he was.
that.
He was. He did.
No. He's right, co-host. You know,
The people who he was writing stories about.
Those were the nuns. Fuck them.
No. He had some. I thought at the beginning they made it seem very clear that he screwed some people over.
Well, it's not like he said or wrote the wrong thing, but it wasn't really his fault.
Yeah, it's whatever. He got fired for doing something that wasn't his fault, and now people looking down on him. No wonder the guy's a prick. Everybody's shitting on him now.
Yeah.
But he's looking for something to do, something to get him back out there. He ain't got no job. He's probably getting on his wife's nerves and shit. So this girl when he's at this function, this girl comes up and says, "Hey, look, my mother has this great story. I heard that you're a journalist. You should come. You should write about it." Of course. No, he's an asshole because he's pretty much, bitch, get away from me. I don't want to do that shit. But then he goes home and like, "Oh yeah, I ain't got no job."
He's reminded all of a sudden.
This wonderful story you were telling me about.
No, your mother sounds so nice. Her man
Exactly.
But yeah, and he finds out the story about her and says, "You know something? I actually I could sell this story to a publication and I get paid, but you don't know that." But he says, we should go to America, look for your son, see what he's doing right now, and make a great article. And it's not just about her going to find where her son is. It's not just about evil nuns, as they say in the movie, even though those motherfuckers get on my nerves. But it's also about it's a movie about what is faith and what is lack of faith. At what point are you good with life enough to not carry hate within you and actually be forgiving? Or are you somebody who is just so cynical and sour about life that you just cannot get rid of that? And this movie addresses it's great to me because if you really look into it, it addresses both the good and the bad of both. You know, at what point are you so naive that you accept forgiveness? But at some point, where are you so consumed by anger that you cannot forgive? It doesn't tell you to feel either way. It addresses both. And I like that.
Yeah, I'm right there.
You know, being a heathen that I am.
I know. The whole time I was thinking about every time I see a character like the reporter, I'm like, that's Corey right there. That's you, Corey. That's you, man. I'm agnostic, but man, when you go off, you start going off.
I don't do that.
You start burning down the village. Just like, damn.
I guess I did start this review kind of angry.
Kill everyone.
Kill all these fucking nuns.
But you know, and that's the thing. That's the enjoyable thing. Is like it is very much The Odd Couple on a road trip. You know, with a really great story behind it. You know, a really good motive for them to be doing what they're doing because that story within itself. It's just fascinating and amazing to where you want to honestly, like when you go home and you want to look this up and read more about it. But the chemistry that these two have, you know, it is so sweet and so endearing, especially when you see both sides of the coin, especially how they deal with faith and, you know, how they treat their faith. Even though there are other things out there going, why would you ever want to be devoted to a faith that, you know, has people like this working behind it?
Yeah.
You know, what keeps you so into it? Why aren't you angry like I am? You know, it brings up a lot of shit like that.
Yeah, co-host, why aren't you angry like I am?
Yeah. Because I just don't care.
You turn the vein off.
I know.
I just don't care.
Isn't Batman on TV? but yeah, man, it brings up all these issues, and they do it in such a really good, subtle way. With these characters that it doesn't beat you over the head with them like we've seen in some movies recently.
Yeah. No, you're right about that. That's what's great about this kind of film. It doesn't tell you how to feel. It just displays these two people and say, all right, which side do you go with?
Yeah.
Well, I like that it does become a road trip, a hunt, and you don't really know how it's going to go. And is this a red herring? Oh, wait, this actually is a legitimate clue, and now it takes you down a different rabbit hole.
I'm getting the royal treatment, Martin. I feel like the Pope.
Well, it'll save your hip.
Is that an interesting book? I've just finished mine.
Yeah, no, mine's rather dull. It's about the October Revolution, political horse trading.
Oh, mine's about horses. It's about this fellow, Robert. and he's engaged to this Duchess, and he's owner, so he's done very well for himself. Anyway, she thinks he's got his ditch water, so he takes up an interest in the horses, because that way he'll get in with the upper classes.
Yeah, that sounds like a real page turn.
Well, you can borrow it.
That's okay.
No, I finished it now.
I feel like I've almost read it.
And it's the bits with them together, that chemistry, or Judi Dench. Almost any time she was interacting with anybody, like my favorite parts are when they go to dinner and she's just talking to the people who work there and all. And Steve Coogan, he's being that smug prick, who's cynical guy who's just like, oh, will she stop and just get over here so he can write this thing and get it done? I just want my story.
But wasn't that part where you said, man, you ain't making us atheists look too good.
Well, I don't know. I didn't spend the whole time going like he's the atheist representative. He just seemed like the rational representative because
I thought he was playing just everyone. He's all of us.
Because it's not even like a fair debate where it's like, well, they have their side and we have our side. It's like, no. Those bitches are evil. I mean, that's just right out the bat. There's nothing, there's no ambiguity there. You see that, like, the way they treat those girls when they're younger, and it never gets better. Matter of fact, by the time you get to the end, I was just like, let's just blow some shit up right now.
I know.
And matter of fact, it's almost like, I can't talk. I just said, I left the movie frustrated. To be honest.
Did you?
Yes.
See?
And I know it was trying to say, hey, don't be like that. But I was like, no, there are exceptions. There are sometimes, most of the time I can go like, hey, you let the shit go, live your life. Living is the best revenge. And there's sometimes where it's like, no, you have crossed the line, and this will not be tolerated.
So, not stand, yeah.
So you didn't learn anything from this movie?
No, I did not.
See, she mad at him, not me. Because I tell you something, man. I was feeling like you for a while, and I was so frustrated at the end. I was mad at Judi Dench.
I was too.
I was mad. I was like, these bitches did you wrong. You better step correct to this shit. And then she would say something that was so sweet, and I'd be like, you know what? You're right.
Yeah. Well,
just let it go.
She had a great explanation as to how she felt the way she did, and it made sense, especially with somebody who's gone through life, having to deal with this. Sure, where there's a lot of things that are just like, just constantly interface as far as like questioning her faith, questioning, why these things happen to her.
Yeah.
So there's a point where it can twist you in a way that, is this how you want to be twisted? Is this something that you're going to let them turn you into? And the fact that, it shows kind of like, especially towards the end, kind of both sides of that coin as far as the aggressor and somebody who is just going, oh, look, okay, at this point, I'm trying my best to just make my peace with this. We've already done enough here, and I thought at the end of it, where I'm not going to give anything away, but there is something that needs to be decided upon, and I thought that decision, I'm like, yeah, that's going to do more good than fucking burning, like me fucking painting my face up in black metal, Norwegian black metal, and burning down churches, to get something across.
I feel like you could do both.
The truth, well, the thing is that the truth will eventually, once it is out there, it will.
Leon and I wanted.
It does more work for you than just getting pissed off and
I don't know. Leon and I wanted Judi Dench to grab a machine gun.
Well, who
and go
did
to
it?
School and shoot people and just burn that fucking school.
Well, who did it? When we were in the theater, there was a couple of annoying bitches in the back.
Were they nuns?
Who were sitting behind us. Yeah. No, they were not nuns. They were probably thinking, they were saying out loud what Leon was thinking, where, it's like, man, she need to fucking burn down that church, like just fucking tear everything apart. And sitting there, it made me think, wow, it is interesting seeing how they're dealing with this on the screen, yet it's affecting people behind me in such a way where they sound like vicious, like monsters, like just vicious monsters. But even though I'm like, well, once you do that, at the end of it, you're still going to be where you started.
I'm kind of offended that you would call these two rational people bitches.
Well,
it's very offensive.
They need to learn to shut the fuck up when they're in a movie theater.
When they make sense.
And while you're right, burning down the church, that wouldn't solve the problem. Yeah. But there's one character, just fucking her up. That would have been enough for me to go like, whew, okay.
But you know what?
I'm good now.
That one character, I mean, it was like the evil emperor. But it was the emperor for fucking Star Wars. She was sitting there in her chair with Darth Vader.
All she had to do was shoot lightning out of her fingers.
Yeah. It was an evil chick on in a wheelchair.
In a fucking wheel.
And it was like,
you don't be in a wheelchair and talk shit?
It was like the emperor on wheels. It was like, and I wanted, You don't do that shit when you can so easily be pushed down some stairs.
Yeah, but and that's the thing. I mean, believe me, I would love to act out all these fantasies, but when you honestly see her for what she is sitting there and the way they present the scene and what she actually is, where you can just see her and you can go, okay, wow, this person did not enjoy their life at all.
Be a man. Come on, man.
The thing is, get mad. The thing is that when you see somebody like that, it's like me going over and kicking like a diseased, mangled dog that's been biting people its whole life, where you just see it there and it's kind of already just, you see how the way they're thinking is poisoned, not just their mind, but their body and who they are. And that's the best revenge right there. They're having a miserable, slow face.
No, that's good revenge, but they ain't the best.
Let me tell you,
ain't the best. Set them on fire.
Why? Because you don't get to do something.
Yeah.
Now, I got something for you, and I don't mean I'm saying this in the nicest way possible. I won't take this bad, but you that kind of bitch that would be held captive and fall in love with your captain, man.
I would. You have. I'd be smart enough not to fall in love because that shit ain't real, Corey. That's something you need to learn. That's something you need to learn.
Sympathy for the devil.
That's what you got.
I know you.
There's no sympathy. There's whenever you see those badass movies where you see that person at the end go, you know what? You're better off just rotting away. I ain't gonna help because more than likely you want somebody to put you out of your misery. So I'm just gonna leave you there. I think that's the best.
Don't turn your back on me.
Yeah.
Not me.
Come back here. I'll come back.
I'm what they call proactive.
Yeah.
No shit slide.
I know. And Corey make that speech like you ain't worth it. He take 3 steps. Yeah, but I'm fuck you up anyway.
Right.
On second thought, you are.
And then at the end of your Twilight Zone episode, you become the person who you've hated.
That's all right.
That's good with me. At least I know I stepped up.
Yeah, I ain't worried because I'm gonna have a bitch like you who's gonna let me go.
You guys always tripping over your steps. Get out of here.
But you see the way we're talking about this now. It's kind of a mock argument. I mean, I still think you push it out a little bit, Coles. But it's kind of a mock argument. But that's the kind of the thing that this movie is presenting to you. Everything that we're saying here is valid. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's so many different arguments that can be made here, but just take that out of it. The only thing that I can say is that this movie does have such an adorable side to it. To just see that ugly side is a little bit jarring.
Oh yeah,
I mean, because they do present this as sometimes it is, as you say, an odd couple road trip movie, man. And it's endearing.
Yeah. Well,
and you get to the shit that makes you mad.
Yeah.
Well, and as endearing as it is, it's all based on tragedy.
Yeah.
Right from the beginning.
And that's what really hurt me, because at the end of it all, I still, and I don't know how other people are going to walk away from it, but I still, and this isn't giving away too much either, but I still saw Judi Dench's character as a tragic character.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
And I felt, it's hard to, I guess that's my complaint. You walk in here and you're so taken in by the laughs and the lightheartedness of the beginning of it, and then by the end it is so heavy, and you are going to walk out with, I mean, no matter how much whatever side you take it, let's just say you take the lighter side. Oh yeah, forgiving is great, whatever. You're still going to walk out with this sinking feeling, man. That, what I just saw was just so horrible.
But then again, you got to realize, well, there's
that's life.
Judi Dench isn't the only one to have a story like this.
Oh,
there's plenty of other stories like this, and there's plenty of other people that it's all about how you deal with it. I mean, and this was a story about how somebody dealt with it, yet they still lived a full life. And I thought that was like the real true heart of it. Just seeing this woman not being torn down so much by what was done to her, but just the realization that not only was she living her life the way she wanted to, she didn't let anyone else tell her, turn her, twist her in a way that, it probably wouldn't have been as fulfilling. It probably would have had an even worse fate for her to constantly feel just betrayed and torn to where she couldn't enjoy life. That's what I liked about that scene in the diner where when I said that dude was acting like all of us, I meant that's just how we are in real life. Just because we're so used to being around people that we forget that each person has their own story, where Judi Dench still has that innocence about her. It's almost like a fish out of water type of story when she comes to the States, because she wants to get to know people.
Right.
Well, we're so consumed with ourselves, we don't give a fuck about knowing
And the
anybody.
movie does a good job at making you say, damn, this woman's retarded. And then you realize, no, she's just
she's open and she wants to know about. Everyone has a story just like she does, and she's ballsy enough to want to talk to people.
And Steve Coogan is great. I mean,
actually, I thought it was one of his better performances.
It is. It truly is. This is directed by Stephen Frears, who He usually, I mean, he's good. I mean, you've seen with this kind of material, he's kind of combining a lot of things that he's done in the past. I mean, he's got a long filmography, but he's done heavy movies like The Queen as far as nothing heavy as in it's like this. It's just kind of dry.
Yeah.
But then he did High Fidelity, which is more of a
Oh, is that his?
Film. Yeah, that's his.
Okay.
And you kind of see both sides of him in this movie, man. And it really is something as far as what's been brought over here for the mainstream in America. It really is some of Steve Coogan's better work.
Yeah.
I mean, outside of that, you're going to see him dressing up like a fucking Trojan.
Phineas Fogg and Around the World in 80 Days.
Yeah, all that kind of dumb shit. Yeah, shit that you can tell. And have you noticed that in all those movies that Steve Coogan has the look on his face like, I really don't want to do this.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so above this, but I ain't above money. Yeah, shut your ass up.
And wipe that sour look off your face. Smile, you limey cocksucker.
Well, yeah, man, I enjoyed this very much. It's one of those movies that comes out later in the year where you say this is what they're waiting on as Oscar bait. It is, but it's good. It's in my list. It made the list. Mm-hmm. Give it a full price.
For now, it's made the list. It's still got more movies coming.
I got a whole stack of movies today that I haven't watched yet.
Oh, you got a stack today? Because I know I got some the other day. Anyway, I liked the movie a lot. Probably not as much as you guys, because there were just some places in it where it was a little dry, a little slow. Like I'm like, man, they got some good things going, and I felt like it would just lose momentum at times. But all the stuff that's in it is great. Boy, was I frustrated by that ending. However, that's not points taken away. I say, hey, if I see a movie that made me feel something, whether it was negative or positive, it stands out.
Oh, yeah.
And so for me, it's more of a low full price.
Yeah. Well, I'm right there with you guys. I was really taken back by the things that this movie addressed, so much so that, I mean, I was like, wow, this is a great movie to send somebody who is constantly like on that atheist thing where it's like, man, fuck all that shit, fuck all, it's a good way to like go, well, look, I mean, you can have it both ways, but you can still have that bit of humanity.
No, you can't.
Trust me, this will not convince an atheist. They'll go, see?
You kind of understand why people have their faith and what it does for them. Sometimes people need that. But overall, yeah, the acting was great. Just the story, like I said, the main bit of this film that we're not talking about is something so interesting that you really want to go and do your own research about it, just to see how many other people were probably affected by what a lot of things were going on that general public had no clue about. But yeah, fascinating film, great acting, and you guys need to go watch Return of the Jedi again to see what the Emperor tried to make Luke do until you see what I'm saying. Maybe Luke Skywalker bitched out too, just like me, but
no, it is.
But no, great movie. I hope to God some people go see this. This is one of these movies where I'm like, I can talk to fucking our Spill audience all day long. None of them going to go see this until they accidentally stumble upon it on TV or something. But no, it is a great film. Yeah, go check it out.
And you're right. And this is a lot of people's story, man. Mm-hmm. And I get that. I get that. Mm-hmm. My mother actually, when I was 10 years old, she took my gerbil away. Never saw it again. I'm writing a book right now.
Are you going to go search for it in another country?
Your gerbil's over in England. Living like a prince. Search for Stinker.
He's out there being a chef. Ratatouille.
Oh no! Let him in.
What if he died in Vietnam, or lived on the street, or what if he was obese?
What makes you think he'd be obese?
Because of the size of the portions. That's my Anthony.
I met him.
Where?
At the White House.
Dear God, what was he like? And did you remember anything he said?
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Might have been hi.
Oh, Martin. I did not abandon my child. He was taken from me.
She's been looking for him. She's spent her whole life trying to find him.
I've never been to Mexico, but I believe it's lovely. Apart from the kidnappings.